Hey friends, Mike and Jess here.
And welcome to Regeneration Nation TV, where we just got done being introduced to the Formula One for rookies, broken down by Cleo Abram.
Very cool video. We've got links for her channel, Chloe's channel, this original video, all in our description and in the pinned comment. So go support it directly. And yeah, let's get into this.
Let's do it.
What will happen over the course of the next 66 laps? Max Verstappen is champion of the world!
You've been hearing about F1 too, right? Cool, let's talk about it.
Formula One race.
Honestly,
This is our first time.
Yeah. This used to be a music reaction channel, and
Yeah.
we've been kind of diving into other things now. And
Showing ourselves a new world.
Lots of people recommended this to us. That's why we're here now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Formula One is something that's so... I've never watched a Formula One race.
But
ever.
I know what I've heard the name.
I do
You
know
say
what it
Formula
is.
One to me. I know that's car racing, but I don't know the ins and outs of
I
it.
think I've seen it in movies. There was a Formula One movie. I can't remember the name of it, but I did watch that. But
yeah.
we're here now, and I'm excited to be here. So let's learn.
Of the world!
You've been hearing about F1 too, right? Cool, let's talk about it.
Formula One racing into Miami for the first
The
time.
hottest ticket in town.
Hooked on Drive to Survive.
Drive
We should know all about
Drive
this.
to
This is in
Survive.
Miami.
This is a car race
Right.
at over 200 miles an hour in cities all over the world.
Miami Grand Prix, Bahrain Grand Prix, here in Monaco.
I honestly thought it was only in Europe. I thought it was like really big in Europe. I had no idea we even had Formula One tracks
Yeah,
here.
neither. We should try to go to one.
That would be fun.
In cities all over the world.
Miami Grand Prix, Bahrain Grand Prix, here in Monaco.
With insanely
Oh, I just want to hear him say
famous
Grand Prix.
Lewis Hamilton, seven-time world
and
champion.
100-person teams, racing cars so advanced that they're practically spaceships, and so expensive that they had to make a rule that teams couldn't spend more than $140 million.
What?
On a
Each. And it's only getting bigger. Just look at this. This is from a construction camera at one of 2 new US racetracks. This one's in Miami. This cost $40 million to build, and it hosted nearly 250,000 people over 3 days. That's a
Wait, so the racetrack cost $40 million. They said the car cost $140 million.
That's their max.
Huh?
That's crazy.
Huh?
to build, and it hosted nearly 250,000 people over 3 days. That's a Super Bowl worth of people every day, and one of them was me.
It's the first ever Miami Grand Prix. We're racing in the States, and it's lights out, away we go.
I was about to say, that's freaking Michael Jordan, dude.
Did that say
Racing in the
David
States,
Beckham?
and it's
It
lights out,
does.
away we go.
And Michael Jordan, Tom Brady.
I just love F1. But a lot of people, because of all this hype, they're hearing about it right now for the first time, and they're feeling a little bit,
I don't understand.
So let's get into it. This is F1 explained for rookies. What you need to know to keep up with this crazy, expensive sport that everyone's suddenly obsessed with.
Lewis Hamilton!
Verstappen holds it.
It's done.
But it's also a look at the bigger question,
Okay.
the huge question, which is, why do this? Like, why pour so much money, so much technological effort into F1, into entertainment?
Oh my.
The answer is in what we get in return. This isn't just a car race. This is a space program for the road.
General growth in interest. Formula One.
F1's becoming much more of a thing here in the States.
The Monaco Grand Prix, win the Italian Grand Prix, the Bahrain Grand Prix.
If you're new to F1,
WTF.
you might know its American cousins. NASCAR has the least family resemblance. Closed cockpits, oval tracks. IndyCar and F1 look more related. They've got the spaghetti-looking track, open cockpits. But there's one really important difference between these two, and it's the reason why F1 specifically is such a big deal. In IndyCar, all of the cars use the same frame, or chassis, the DW12. So the competition here is mostly in how you race that car. But in F1, every team has to design and manufacture their own cars. And the best part is that they get to improve the cars between each race, or not, depending on how they do. So the competition in F1 actually centers around the car itself. Not just how you race it, but also how you build it and rebuild it again and again and again. This is why I love F1. It looks like the sport of daredevils, but much more than that. It's the sport of nerds.
That's cool. I could see the intrigue there.
Yeah.
Okay, each team races 2 cars, so 2 drivers for the same team. Each event, or Grand Prix, is 3 days: practice, qualifying, and race day. I watch these on TV every time they're on, but this was the first time I ever got to see it in person.
Got to see the car up close. That was awesome. Now I am inside the Mercedes garage.
Truly, I have never had
She's
more
like a
fun
kid in a
this
candy
Yeah,
store.
she's
That's
so
awesome.
and seen less of what was actually going on.
So right now they're about to do a practice.
Here's how this works. The order of who does the fastest lap on qualifying day becomes the lineup at the starting line on race day. And passing isn't easy, so where you start is a really big deal. Depending on where drivers finish, they get different numbers of points. After 10th place, no points for you.
No soup for you.
Drivers want to get the most points themselves to win something called the Drivers' Championship. But teams want to get the most points total to win the Constructors' Championship. The two championship thing actually kind of makes for funny mismatched incentives sometimes. You can hear it on the radio when teams have one strategy, like they want to let drivers pass each other, and drivers get really mad about that.
If he's quicker, we let 3. That's very unfair, but okay.
But generally, everybody agrees about the big things, which are drivers, race your fastest. Teams, make the best car. All right, here's the fun part.
Dude, she's such a nerd when it comes to
This
this
is
stuff,
so
dude.
cool.
She's so into it. I like that somebody like this that's so passionate about it is bringing this to us.
Yeah.
It just makes the video more enjoyable.
It does make it more enjoyable.
All right,
She got a Lego
here's the fun
set.
part.
Lego is here. Hey, kids, look.
There's my driver. Hello, Lewis Hamilton.
I have a feeling we have to know
Think
who
of an
Lewis
F1
Hamilton
car
is.
like
We'll
an
remember that
airplane
name.
upside down. Both meant to move as quickly through the air as possible, right? But where an airplane's wings work to lift it up, these cars' wings work to keep it down. Why?
Okay.
Because winning doesn't just depend on going fast. It also depends on keeping control.
Yeah, you have to keep them wheels on the ground.
And that requires a firm grip on the ground. Take a look at the shape of this car. Now watch how the air moves across it. See how some goes above the wing and some squeezes the long way underneath it? That creates a situation where there's higher pressure above and lower pressure below, sucking the car toward the ground. That's actually happening all over the car, not just on the wings. And we could talk for hours about the design features on this thing.
That's
how
pretty
they shape
sick.
and use the air. Some pull air in through the car to cool it down. You can actually see there's a hole there. I think they're trying to imply that on my Lego model. Some actually
kinda
let the
see it,
driver
yeah.
release air, lessening that downward pressure and allowing them to go faster in order to pass. It's kind of like a Mario boost.
Oh, that's cool.
You can actually
dude.
hear this in a race. Listen for DRS here.
Now, Charles Leclerc is going to have DRS to try and fight it back.
Taken together, an F1 car is just a symphony of aerodynamics.
She's
I
getting
actually
me
got to see them
excited
up close
about
and
it,
personal
dude.
when I was in
She's
Miami.
making me excited, yeah.
Going there.
I absolutely did not keep my cool.
Trying to be cool.
Perfecting these cars over the years, understanding the need for wings and adding them and changing the shape and
That's
pushing our
crazy.
understanding of aerodynamics to shave off just fractions of a second. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of people work on this, all for one team. So,
Wow.
how much does this cost?
Yeah. I was gonna say let's like the 140 million limit. At first, I was just like parts. It's just all parts, but it's got to be how much you're paying your
I'm gonna
people.
say you have to pay all those
the
people,
entire
thousands of
team.
people working on one vehicle.
That kind of makes more sense now. It's
Yeah.
like, how the heck can you rack up 140 million in parts
Yeah.
alone? But it makes more sense that that goes to salaries and everything like
Yeah.
that as well.
How much does this cost? F1 teams don't really want to share the details here, so there's a lot of speculation. But they're also companies, and some of them have to file their financials somewhere. So with a little bit of research into various European countries' reporting requirements, hold on,
Some investigative journalism.
here they are. Annual reports for every F1 team I could find, which is actually 8 out of 10, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
It's pretty good.
As a fan, this is kind of cool. Like, look, this is Toto Wolff's signature. What I learned from all this is that running an F1 team costs anywhere from $95 million to $425 million.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
But the year after these were filed, F1 instituted a new rule saying all teams were only allowed to spend $140 million. So these reports are going to look a lot different for this next coming year.
Driver salaries not included.
Still a
okay.
lot. No matter what, F1 teams spend a ton of money. So, what do they make? These reports show that F1 teams make approximately nothing. They run surprisingly close to break even. Red Bull, for example, made $230 million in revenue, and then add these two up, $229 million in costs. And they ended up with approximately $1.2 million in profit. This is in pounds, actually, so that's $1.5 million. These aren't the wildly profitable enterprises I was imagining.
Yeah.
So why do they do it? Well, take a look at this. This is the Ferrari annual report. Our brand image depends in part on the success of our Formula One racing team. The racing team is a key component of our marketing strategy. It's advertising.
Advertising.
Wow.
That makes sense,
What?
though,
They
because
use
people
F1
see that
to
Red
sell
Bull
other stuff, whether that's
Yeah.
luxury sports cars or a sports drink.
Red Bull gives you wings.
makes
Wow.
sense.
As entertainment, F1 is incredible. But a lot of people do feel that it's somewhat wasteful.
How much does a Formula One car cost?
$400 million.
Was it worth all that money?
This is bigger than F1. It's kind of crazy to think about how much work we as a species put into entertaining ourselves.
Yeah.
But I
do.
think what makes F1 feel particularly acute for some people is the technology element here. All of this engineering work and all of this energy being spent on 20 fossil fuel reliant cars makes people wonder sometimes if that energy might be better spent elsewhere.
Like literally anywhere else.
I like that she's even including the cons of it, and she's probably going to come around with a counterpoint to all of this.
Yeah.
But it's cool that she's including this in this.
But F1 is more than just entertainment. It's better thought of actually as one giant experiment.
It is a
Yeah.
science project.
F1 pushes everything to the extreme. What do you need to create to compete at this level, to keep control at these speeds, to keep the driver safe in these conditions? The idea is that the technology that they build ends up trickling down to all of us non-race car
I was about
drivers.
to say,
My
there's.
question was,
yeah.
is this actually true or does it just sound good? I wanted to find specific car parts that were developed for F1 and then ended up in my car. But the more research I did, the more complicated it got. People often talk about paddle shifters, for example, but those were actually developed decades before F1. F1 teams just made them better. Same for active suspension, anti-lock brakes, traction control. What I found was that F1 was less trickle-down and more flywheel. F1 combines technologies that might already exist and then pushes them to an extreme, making them better in the process and then inspiring, or literally manufacturing, better tech for all of us. For example, take thermal efficiency, the percentage of energy from combustion that actually makes the car go, as opposed to being lost to heat. Most combustion road cars have a thermal efficiency between 20 and 30%, which means only a third of the energy actually makes the car go. F1 cars can't refuel during the race, so there's a very strong incentive for them to be efficient. They're at about 50% now, thanks to new hybrid engines, gains that have been dragging the rest of the car industry forward. Or data collection. Sensors on F1 cars collect huge amounts of information and then feed it back to the driver and the team. They
That's
didn't
crazy.
invent a lot of these systems, but they use them in ways that they've never been used before. And that's actually getting more and more important as we move potentially towards self-driving cars. This is the real promise of F1,
Yeah,
and it all
that's pretty
stems from that
crazy.
original requirement to build their own cars. Basically, we'll do all of this research and development, and we'll create new technologies and also combine all of the cutting-edge tech, and we'll push it to its limits and develop it further, and you don't even need to pay for it. We'll race these things against other groups of engineers doing exactly the same thing in this crazy round-the-world sport that lots of people really love, that is actually, at the end of the day, the biggest, most expensive group project science competition of all time.
It's just like a science.
Oh my gosh,
Whether or not we should say
that's a
ultimate
hilarious
science
way
fair.
to explain it, dude.
It is, but she's doing such a good job for somebody
Yeah.
who has no idea the ins and outs of this, and definitely coming in as a rookie. It makes it sound so. It's dumbing it down a little bit, but like making it make more sense to me because it's like
Yeah.
a giant science fair. Like they are doing something. There's so many people working together to figure out how to make it, close to the road, go faster, how to make it work for the next
More
time.
efficient,
Like feeding that information to yourself as you're going, so you can figure out the mistakes. If something were to happen, you can go back in and. That's
And you're
just
getting
so
to test
cool.
it real time against other
Yeah.
high level teams, and it's just crazy.
That's
I can
so
see the
cool.
intrigue
Yeah.
so much more now.
Of
It's
all
crazy.
time. People debate whether or not we should spend money on lots of our efforts to learn. And yet, they consistently push forward both the tech that we actually use and our understanding of the world around us. In this case, it also makes some money, and it's fun to watch. It allows you to think differently about lots of things. We need people working far beyond the edge, like pulling forward the limits of what we can do. The question now is, what do we need to learn next? If F1 pushes forward car innovation and the future of cars is electric, does F1 need to get more electric too? And if F1 doesn't go more electric, does it get farther and farther from its original promise over time? Less applicable to the technology that we use and more a novelty. Oh, let's go watch those cars that use gas. I don't know. Now you're up to speed. You can watch a race, you can enjoy it with your friends, and you can also speculate, like the rest of us, where it's all gonna go. I'll be watching with you, and I'll be rooting for my favorite team.
Let's go. That was
That's
really cool.
cool.
I
That
like
was
that
awesome.
video a lot, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Going from not having any clue.
I'm gonna butcher that. Grand Prix. I'm such an American.
Oh, dude, I'm the same way. No. Okay, well, I didn't want to
I
get
could
into
listen
that,
to him
but
say Grand Prix like so many times, said it over and over again. I was like, oh, Grand Prix. I can't. Grand
Yeah.
Prix.
Wow. That was, I went from not knowing like anything about Formula One other than that like NASCAR is big here, even though I'm not into NASCAR. I've never been to a NASCAR race or anything like that. Some of my family used to watch it, so it would be on TV occasionally. So going from just knowing that, okay, instead of racing in an oval, they race on these like tracks.
Spaghetti
And
tracks,
I mean,
yeah.
I've played racing games, so it's like learning a certain track and having your favorite track to race on, and it just gets embedded into your mind. You know all of the turns, everything like that. So other than just knowing just that, to now understanding it in a whole new light, that was a very cool video.
That
Very
really was.
informative in just like 12 minutes.
It made me super intrigued for Formula One in general. Like when she started to point out that how much they're spending on each car, how much everything costs, the amount of expense that's thrown into this, it started to make more sense at the end, which made me feel super intrigued by it. I would like to go support this, honestly. I think it would be really fun to go out there knowing that, like, kind of knowing the background of it, you know?
It's so much more than just about the racer's skill against another racer. It's still a lot about that, obviously, but it's so much more about innovation.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and just the competition of the racers, but also the competition of these scientists, dude. These
engineers are just
freaking
waiting to figure out the
rocket
next
ship
problem.
engineers.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. That's insane
cool.
to me. It's so much. It goes so deep, much deeper than I thought.
Yep.
That's
it's
so
like
crazy.
Giving those people who love to create things and build things and figure out how things go, how things move, bettering them, figuring all that stuff. You're giving them a fun project to work on, and then they get to see the results of it in such a fun way. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for recommending this video, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody who recommended this to us, that was very enjoyable. That was awesome.
You
it
opened
really
up
was.
our world a little bit more, and I enjoyed it very much.
I want to go back because it skipped to the next video. This person's name. We do have links for this original video and Cleo Abram. Go support Chloe and her channel and everything that she's doing. Awesome video. We've got links for everything down below. So yeah, go support that. Hopefully you enjoyed our reaction. Leave links or recommendations down below for other things like this you want to see us react to. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, friends.
Peace.
I'm not scared of your love, so show